Hello, and we're back for episode 4 of The Octagon. Woo!
Oh my god.
That was so much louder than expected.
That was very loud in my earballs.
I think that was your reaction to McGregor win on the weekend, wasn't it, Sam?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, we're going to talk about UFC 246 on today's episode and this weekend's Fight Night 166. So we'll start off with UFC 246 card.
What a card.
I'm back.
Oh yeah, Johnny's back by the way after missing last week's show. Sorry not to mention.
Yes. Boo,
In the first minute.
Boo, boo.
Boo.
He's back and ready.
He's back and we're back.
Back and ready to do it all over again, says Jeremy Corbyn.
I'm prepared.
Right, McGregor, 40 seconds KO. What we thinking?
Yeah.
Donald Cerrone looked fucking terrible.
I didn't know. It was impossible for him to look anything because he just got destroyed.
Within 5 seconds,
He did.
then
It was
shoulders.
pretty much over. I
were
was
a big
watching.
effect.
I was watching something that said because of his bone structure, McGregor, he has like really sharp collarbones.
The way his chest and
Yeah,
stuff's built. I've
because of
seen
that,
it
it was. I think it was Chael Sonnen was saying it
yeah.
on Bad Guy Inc. Obviously worse than us. He was like, that's why it was so painful for and so damaging. That's why he bled off. He like smashed his nose up in the first because he has such sharp shoulders and collarbones. It was just like sheer bones smacking him in the nose.
Mm.
Like, could you imagine that? Flipping
I don't know if it is a technique that he's been working on because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's a masterclass from McGregor." You know, he's been working on his shoulders and
People
doing
have done
this
it
technique
before.
a
I've
lot.
seen it
Yeah,
before.
it's not a brand new thing, and everyone knew Cerrone was probably going to go in for a clinch at some point. It's what he does, but I don't really think he'd been working on shoulders. I think it was just him making the most of that moment.
Yeah, I'm wanting to get it done as quick as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I saw an interview with Michael Bisping and he said, shoulders, they're not really meant to hurt you. They're not meant to daze you. They're just meant to be an annoyance. In the same way that stamping on someone's foot is annoying, it gets you a little bit rattled up and it'll send you off guard a little bit.
Mm.
But I suppose anything that sends you off guard will... I mean, that kick that followed it, he didn't expect that.
Yeah, I
it was
agree
just
with
a
you.
collusion of different things.
I don't know if it necessarily did the most amount of damage to Cerrone, those shoulders. It was the fact that he was like, what's
Shocked
going
by
on,
it.
pushed away and it kicked in the face, and then he was against the cage, wasn't he? Because I think McGregor missed one punch in the fight I was reading, and it was the first punch he'd thrown in 2 years, and that was the only punch he missed in the entire fight. I think he threw quite a few but missed one, and it was that first one that just missed straight
Oh
away.
yeah, that missed him. Yeah.
Cerrone only threw one strike, didn't he? And I think it was clattered by McGregor. I don't think it landed.
It was clear Cerrone couldn't handle McGregor because he easily went down, didn't he? He basically forced himself down instead of McGregor forcing him down.
Yeah, I mean, he has so much experience, and to be honest, he has got the tools to utilise a different result at a different time, because that could have been a very difficult matchup for McGregor, but he just made the most of it. It was the hardest 40 seconds Cerrone's ever been in, and we all know he's a slow starter, and he is. He can work on it as much as he wants, but if it's in his mind and it's just a part of him, then he can't get rid of it.
Well, yeah, he's not a young fighter. He's been through a lot, so he's used to. You know, he's got to be a. You got to understand that he's probably going to be a. Getting into the fights longer, and because of his age, like McGregor being 31 is obviously going to start faster. And
He's
McGregor's
explosive
style is
when
to
he
start
starts.
faster. I think, annoyingly, I said this with the Aldo when he beat Aldo in a few seconds. I always want to see what would happen if it went the distance.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'd love to have seen if they could have got it done, an Aldo rematch, and then for it to have gone past the first section of the first round and see what the actual fight would have looked like.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we know McGregor obviously didn't, you know, with that first Nate fight, he gassed out. But, like, you can't really say this because he did lose to Cerrone. He did beat Cerrone that fast because he's a better fighter. That is.
Yeah, and you know, Cerrone, I watched something this morning. It was about his mentality before he walks into the ring. He always puts on a bit of a hard face, and you know, he'll cover his eyes with the shadow of his hat or whatever. But the reality of it is, he's quite an anxious person. He can pretend to roll around on his Harleys, but when it comes to fight day, he says he spends the whole morning just panicking and thinking about it, and that's probably why he is a slow starter. It's the biggest fight of his career. It's the biggest 40 seconds of his career, wasn't it? And that was it. So it took.
For me, it still doesn't take anything away from Cerrone. Because he's got so much of a name for
No,
himself.
I just don't know where he's going to go now, unfortunately.
He'll just fight. They'll put him against someone, a name again because of his name, and he'll fight them again, and he'll probably lose.
Do we think he's just going to stay in welterweight? Or
Cerrone?
Yeah, Cerrone, sorry.
Yeah, I think so. It's where he's most comfortable.
Yeah. Well, no, really,
if he can.
He's fine going down.
He just doesn't like to do it. That's where a lot of problems were going to come for McGregor, though, in this fight, really, because everyone was saying McGregor's a 155 fighter, and Cerrone is naturally a 170 fighter. Even if McGregor walks around at 165, he's definitely best utilised at 155. Cerrone can't cut. Everyone was saying if Cerrone gets on top of him, McGregor could just end up on his back all the fight.
Yeah.
But
I think he may be best at 155, agree on that, but I think he looked brilliant at
yeah, he did.
170. So we say what next for Cerrone, what next for Conor then?
The world's his oyster, isn't it, really? I would like to see him have one more fight before he goes to the big boys, whether it's Usman or Masvidal or Habib and Ferguson. I would like to see him fight either Diaz again or Justin Gaethje or maybe even like Poirier again, have a rematch with him. They could all be quite entertaining. It depends where he wants to go, and like I say, the world's his oyster, he can pick where he wants to go.
Well, he's saying he's not finished at 170. And he's saying that wasn't the best itself he was. But do you not think that win might just make a big thing happen now instead of giving him...
Yeah.
Like, I think the Gaethje fight makes sense, but I think they're just going to give him a massive fight now because of that, because he's clearly...
Masvidal, you think?
Yeah, someone like Masvidal.
I would like to see Masvidal get knocked out now, to be honest, because he's getting on my nerves.
There's so many people he could face in that welterweight division. Like, you look at like Jeff Neal, who's ahead of him, like, for example, stuff like that. But he's not going to be fighting him, is he?
No,
he's just way too big. But
big of fight.
I would say
Woodley
Masvidal
Edward-
might be too big though. Even if Conor could like land damage, and we all know he's not lost any kind of power. He used to be able to knock people out at 145, and he can seemingly do it against Cerrone at 170. But Masvidal does seem really big. I guess I would love to see Masvidal get dropped now because he is like, he's becoming this character. He's doing a bit of a Colby Covington. I want to see him just kind of be humbled. But I don't actually know if McGregor would be able to do it. I suppose it's a different discussion really, but...
yeah,
It does seem crazy to me that Till and McGregor could potentially fight in the same division. Like that to me is just...
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy that they were... That is a
The
possible
gorilla.
fight. Like, he's so big. He's big for the 170,
wow. Tills
but he's moved up now, hasn't he?
moved up, so yeah, looks like.
Be an exciting fight for English fans.
I agree, John. I think it should be Justin Gaethje. I don't really want to see. I don't think I want to see the Nate one again.
Yeah, it's just because it'd be fulfilling a trilogy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the only reason it would be for me. But I don't really want to see it again. I want to. There's so many other options.
Yeah.
Just prefer him to go over to that.
But he'll pick who he wants to fight, and it does depend on different results as well. The UFC will cater around him now. He's proven it. Even though it was only 40 seconds in 2 years, he's proven that he can just take control again.
Definitely.
He's the money cow, isn't he? The
Just,
big boy.
Well, have you read that stuff they're saying about the different purses between the two of them? So McGregor started off, he was guaranteed 3 million, and Cerrone got 200k for showing up and 200k for winning. So
That's
he
brutal.
got 200k and McGregor got 3 million. And
It's-
it makes
it's
sense. but
obvious,
it's so
though,
it's
it's
so
obvious.
ruthless. Like 200k for headlining a card seems, a card that big seems
Yeah.
so rough on the lad. But he will have made a load of money in other ways. But
He's got a bit more exposure. He would have had more if it had gone on for a bit longer and he'd shown a bit more of his class, but the world just doesn't work like that sometimes. Sometimes you get absolutely hammered and sometimes you do the opposite.
Just a subject I want to touch on. You've seen like people calling it fake and stuff like that. Do you think they
threw
actually
the
see like
fight.
Nate Diaz? Oh, Cerrone got paid off. Say that stuff like that. Like Nate Diaz tweeting like, "Oh, this shit's fake" and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Do you think he genuinely believe that's fake, or
He might just be trying to call for a third fight.
surely? Like, I'm not saying just Nate Diaz because there's other people as well, but like, look at Cerrone's face. He's not gonna take all that
Yeah.
beating.
Yeah.
And like, No.
No,
That's
that,
not.
I
You
can't
can tell
see
that's
him
not what
throwing a
Cerrone's
fight.
about as well.
Yeah,
I think Cerrone
he
would say
seems
no
to be
to any
more-
amount of money and stuff like that.
that's just sorry. That's just a bit disrespectful to his integrity, suggesting that would even happen. 'Cause
Yeah.
Like I say, he didn't actually make that much money from it. He probably would have continued to snowball his finances if he'd actually gone out and tried to win that fight. You know, he doesn't seem like the type of fella to throw a fight. And
No,
I reckon
definitely not.
Diaz is saying, oh, they've fed him this fight because Cerrone's on a 2-loss streak. That's crap, because we all know he's got a lot of different tools and utilities to do damage on McGregor. He just didn't get to show it.
Yeah,
And the saying goes, saying he's throwing it, he's probably just trying to call for a trilogy fight and annoy McGregor, get under his skin a bit.
I think that's a boring fight for me.
Diaz.
Nate
Yeah,
3.
I'm
Yeah.
not massively
Yeah.
into it. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I mean, Gagey would be an explosive one.
I also don't think it's a smart fight for McGregor to take that fight.
No.
No,
Like,
Because if
definitely
he
not.
loses that and
Yeah.
it just puts him downhill, yeah.
It's a
Definitely
big
not.
risk.
That's why I think he's not going to take that fight as well.
Yeah, but he does speak about it. He does say, he has said quite often he'd want to do it again, but I presume he's potentially just saying he wants to do it again to say he wants to do it again, because if he doesn't say that, then people say he's ducking it.
Yeah,
I
so
also
long as he
don't
doesn't
think-
go into boxing again, I'm happy with whatever he chooses. But like, he won't beat Nate Diaz, I don't think. It's too much of a risk there.
I agree.
Right. Not much else we can chat on that subject. It wasn't the best fight in the world, is it? It was good in ways of
I wish we could have
KO,
seen
but
more.
obviously, yeah, we wish we'd seen more.
It was.
I
it
should have
was
stuck with
impressive.
my first round prediction, but I changed to second.
Did you?
I
Yeah.
was going to put a bet on Cerrone just because I thought he might.
I can't
utilise
remember
grappling
what did
and-
I say.
I can't. I think you said Conor, but I can't remember what you said, to be honest.
I said Conor round.
But I know I had
from
late
home.
late first. I've said, but then I moved it to early second. But yeah. Right, this year, so
Oh, I think I agreed with you. I said.
Yeah,
he'd
I'm pretty
batter
sure
it.
you said
I'm pretty
second
sure I
as
said he
well.
would batter him for the first round, and early in the second he'd take it. I was wrong.
He battered him in 40 seconds instead.
let's move on to the co-main fight of the night. Was Holly Holm v Raquel Pennington. So, my opinion, poor fight, but expected. Went all the way. Went to decision,
Yeah,
3 rounds.
it was tight, and
It was tight, but
uh,
it was. I think it was expected. A lot of clinching, a lot of groundwork, stuff like that. But
yeah, rematch in 2015 of the 2015 fight they had. That not really much. fun, was
exactly the same.
It?
Yeah,
I don't know if I actually rate Holly Holm that much anyway, to be
Well,
honest.
Since now she's won. She had lost 3 of the 5 before this fight after Rousey. So, you know, it was like, oh my word, she's knocked out Rousey.
She's
and
just
then-
not really
then-
like a headline fighter
Yeah, she
really
proceeded
anymore.
to lose 3 of the next 5, so now she's won 3 of the last 6 since then. The only reason people, I think, give her what she is because, you know, she's obviously an amazing kickboxer, and she was champion in boxing as well, but she's not that good. Like, she's nowhere near Amanda Nunes.
looking at it, like the women's bantamweight division is not good. Like,
No.
so Nunes is obviously top, and then she made the random, and she just beat her. And then it's Holly Holm. So Holly Holm's next for a title, is she? Then again.
I mean, Jermaine Durandamy versus Holly Holm, I could see Durandamy doing it.
Yeah, I agree. But will Holly Holm get another title shot now? Maybe, because there's no one else there.
I think they'll look for someone lower down who's coming up.
It's
Yeah,
a bit boring, isn't it?
And there's
You know?
obviously Nunes is still in the
Yeah, she'll fight
featherweight as
in
well, isn't she?
featherweight.
So
Yeah. Which is, yeah. I mean, that fight was not exciting, was it?
yeah, I don't know what next for Holly Holm with that. It's a title shot. I'm sure she's gonna want that title shot, but she's what, 38? Is she now? Something like that?
Did you hear the fans booing in the fight?
No,
Yeah, they were booing. So
not
not
sure.
yeah,
They
just
might not be a fan of her though.
just
is
not.
it? She's not.
well, it's just boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
So like, especially because like that's high up in the card, and
yeah,
you want a bit more exciting. So especially someone who's so good at kickboxing, just like try and create some distance kicker in the head.
Yeah.
You know.
You expect something a little bit more eager, especially when it's going to be overdone by Cerrone and McGregor after that, which is what a lot of fans are going to be waiting for. That went the distance, and it was just a bit of a dead fight.
It didn't really prepare or excite anyone to be like, oh, I can't wait now. You just like, oh, right, well, you just want that fight to be over with, and it just dragged. So, but as we spoke about, it was never going to be the most crazy of cards of the year, was it?
No.
You know, it was all about this main event. Well, I mean, to be honest, on paper, a home Raquel Pennington fight sounds fun because
Maybe 2 years ago, though.
good, yeah, like Raquel Pennington.
Like it was 3 years ago, actually.
Yeah, she's always been a good name, and home is known for the knockout. So you think, oh, that could be quite a good fight, you know. We did speak about it not being that, but like they're two good names to put on a card, especially against each other. But the fun was not to be.
Yeah, so Holm won that fight decision.
Yeah.
Unanimous decision. I think you had that, did you? You said that, did you? Decision, I think.
I believe.
I think I had second.
I said something. Definitely said something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's 13-5 now. Home. Not a bad record. I mean, she does. I suppose you could say she deserves to be in the conversation about a title shot. I know she's not like on the best record in her last few fights, but you know, why not? You know,
She'll want it. She'll probably
Yeah.
get it.
And
There's not much going on there.
I think she'll.
I think they'll give it because they are two massive names in the sport, like Nunes and Home are two big names.
You want to see what Nunes can do again after that Jermaine Durandamy fight.
KO'd
Yeah.
Holly Holm, though, didn't she? First round.
Yeah, it'll be exactly the same.
Yeah, but you never know the way she beat Rousey, Holly Holm. But yeah.
Maybe.
So let's move on from that to.
What do we think's next for Raquel?
Oh, that's why I'm just not even sure. She's just a standard
breezed
fight
past
for her.
Do you think she's not got that long? She's not old at all, is she?
No, I don't think she's young though. She's been around for a while.
She's 30 something,
Yeah.
like young 30s.
Yeah,
from-
yeah.
But you know, she is definitely capable of like getting some wins under her belt and pushing back.
Yeah.
Like she's a good enough fighter. I think she's just struggling at the moment for some reason. I'm not sure why it is, but
Just don't think she's just as good. That's all.
Yeah,
Really. I
she's
think she's
definitely-
good, but she's just not
she's definitely
as
a
good.
level below. Like,
Yeah.
especially the likes of Nunes, who I do
Stuff
think.
like strength and stuff like that. She's just not. Holly Holm like was just stronger than her the whole time and stuff like that. Really.
I suppose.
Yeah. So, third fight we'll talk about: Olenek v Morris Green, the big boys,
It's a classic Olenek sub.
and it was a typical win for Olenek. Another submission. I think it's number 46, is it?
Yeah.
Number 46, number 58 win it
His
was.
58th career
58th career win and another submission. I think
Second
it was
round
an armbar,
submission.
Yeah.
which he had him, like, you could tell how much a wrestler this guy was.
Yeah, he
Uh,
loves it on the floor.
Obviously watched the fight on the weekend, but I rewatched it again last night, and
It's
did you
crazy
see in
because
the first
Green-
5 seconds Green like tripped him over and like could have really just piled on him within 5 seconds, but
Yeah.
you could tell this Olenek was such a bad wrestler.
Well, they were
like,
doing
yeah,
it. Like
100%.
he had a couple of submission attempts, didn't he? In this one, he just slit the arm through, and it. Because I said when we were looking at it, I think his height being 6'7", I think he is, will affect him, and it did definitely. He was
I was going to point out I was completely wrong about this one because I was going to say if we had seen these fighters more,
You said it would be a submission for Green.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
thought he was going to wrap around him a little bit.
Yeah, and more now we've seen this fight, and if we'd seen more of these fighters, you'd realise this Olenek would have won.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 'Cause,
Olenek's got the
he was
experience.
just
He knows how to tackle
completely,
someone
like,
bigger.
He was how that Green stayed for that long. He must have been so tired.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah,
You've said his stats there though a little bit, and I know you can't judge MMA, UFC, whatever on statistics, but Olenek's 58-13, and Maurice Green is 8-4 at this point standing. There's a massive.
Well, we
gap
said
in
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
We said this last week that we thought. Well, especially I thought that he was far too. You know, we all will agree that he probably has had half his fights in the middle of nowhere, fighting against bears and stuff, and that don't really matter, you know. But like,
No, it is.
but I bet you they're still all run bastards.
yeah, you don't get 58 wins without being good enough. So you get that experience. He's clearly amazing at
He's
submissions.
a specialist of a wrestler.
Yeah.
Green was going to
matter who
struggle
you're
in
submitting.
this.
If you're submitting them, you're improving on your technique.
Well, the thing is, Green has submissions under his belt. Like, he's a good submission fighter.
Yeah.
Definitely good on the floor. But this guy clearly is one of
He
a
lives
very
for it.
elite tier of ground-based wrestlers with his ability to submit people. Like, that was... He had 3 different ones, I think he attempted. 3 different types of submission in that fight, which is just, like, very impressive. I mean, we weren't surprised that he was going to submit him, were we? When you've got 46, is it now?
Yeah, I think
Submissions.
it's 46.
You're not... you probably know what you're doing with someone's arm. But
Oh,
yeah.
He goes for everything possible, and I think he knows everything
Yeah,
possible.
he's looking for it at all times.
His nickname is the Boa Constrictor, so... Doesn't make sense. They did look very tired, both of them, though,
Yeah.
on the floor in the second round.
So
That was actually ends a 2-fight losing streak, which I don't know if we spoke about, but he'd lost his last 2, Olenek, before that one.
we did.
So.
I think we did touch on that.
And now Green's lost his last 2, so...
I think Green's he's
Well-
not one of them we'll ever talk about maybe ever again. It's one of them, isn't it? Really.
He didn't look
We'll
particularly...
probably may not see him ever again now, really.
That
'Cause
was
he'll
his
be like on
chance.
low. Yeah, that was his chance. And Olenek's obviously very old, but he might get a chance now
I
against
don't
someone
think
like.
he's not bothered about...
No, he's
a
never
t-
going
a
to reach a
title,
title against
yeah.
Miocic. There's obviously so many in front of him.
I think
There's
he'll
quite
probably,
a few
I
in
think
there.
he might fight some youngsters. Give it
We
like...
could see it, and like maybe
Give it like someone to...
that Volkov there is. You remember he lost?
Well, is he
Yeah.
the really tall bloke?
Yeah, he
He's
lost.
bald.
No, I don't think he's bald. No, he lost to I can't remember who he lost to.
Is it Alexander?
Yeah, Alexander Volkov.
I do know who you mean. Did he lose to...
He lost
The
to
big bloke.
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis,
Oh, but
yeah.
he beat. Remember we were watching it, Greg Hardy. Do you know the American footballer? He was like 4-0
Yeah,
at the time, and
I
then
I do, yeah.
we watched it a couple of months ago. I think, or I don't know if we watched it together. Yeah.
No, that's... to be honest, I don't really care about what these two decide to do.
No, because there's a lot of
Olenek, yeah. It's a good division,
and we'll
heavyweight.
show later when we talk about 2 that
And,
well ahead of him.
exactly, and Murray Screen, is he finished? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's an under the fight rug, innit? This one will be swept away. It's not really memorable.
no.
It's fun. It's fun to chat about Olenek with his submission ability, and is still really impressive to watch him fight.
He's a bit of a cult hero, Ukrainian lad. Dead old school. But there's just not much more there than that.
No, you'll be scared if you see him in the streets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everlast gear. Tap out.
That is to him to a T. Right, so
Should we move on?
yeah, we'll move on. Obviously, we were going to talk about Goodell Grasso, but it got cancelled because Grasso was £6 overweight.
Ridiculous, that isn't it? £6.
£6 is a lot, isn't it? I
Flip
think.
the neck.
But some can normally fight, can't they? But apparently
There was a
the
too big
women's
of a
straw
difference.
weights,
So,
yeah, £3.
With Nevada, they were saying you can only be with the women. You have to be within 3. Because to be fair, it's probably quite a lot of different 6, especially on a weighing day. Because imagine how much weight.
Especially when they're that small as well, isn't it?
She
Like,
could put so much weight on for the
yeah.
being 6 over already. I think.
It must be.
understand.
It must
Plus-
be hard for fighters because they must know they're £6 over it or something like that, isn't it? And they must be panicking going in there and for the weigh-ins.
I mean, to be fair, like, it's not it definitely wouldn't be it definitely wasn't like I really didn't want to lose that fight, but I was quite interested to watch it and see what happened. I was quite, we'd spoke about it and we were quite, it didn't look like it was going to be a terrible fight. It probably wasn't going to be the best, and there's definitely would have.
It's probably the least we were looking
Yeah,
forward
probably
to,
take that
but,
at least, but like.
But we didn't know what was going to happen, did we? We didn't have a clue.
But with what they moved up, it's like, moving up that Brian Keller fight.
Yeah, we'll just
That's
briefly touch
stupid.
on that. because we don't know much, and obviously no one does really, because they brought from the early prelims, I think, not even the prelims.
I would have preferred them to have moved.
There's a lot of fighters they could have brought up, isn't there, from the prelims and stuff like that.
Well, it was
But they
Osborne's UFC debut, you know.
Was it?
Yeah, and he obviously lost, so...
Well, Brian Keller's been around for a bit, isn't he? Obviously, Brian Keller won via submission.
It was a guillotine, wasn't it?
He got the...
Guillotine choke. What round was it, do we know?
It was second round. It was. I remember watching it. It was a good choke. He got a performance of the night as well, bonus. But there was about 5 of them. I don't think anyone got fight of the night. They just give performance bonuses out because they give it to. McGregor.
No, I think it was the first round, Jake. The Brian.
Was it the first round?
Yeah, I'm looking at this. It says it was the first fight. Well, I thought, it started off and you thought that Osborne might look alright. He did that flying punch, didn't he? Which looked, what's going to happen here? And then...
Superman.
Yeah, not a lot happened. Shame about his debut, probably not going to get anything now. Keller's, it's not as if he's lost a pretty run-of-the-mill average bloke, so... it was actually Keller's first win as well since February 2018. So... almost 2 years without a win, then beats around his debut.
It wasn't a main card fight, was it? It's just
it was a prelims fight.
Let's get away from that one. Who was that? Was it Pettis and Carlos Diego Ferreira?
That was the first fight we got to see. And I'll say I was completely wrong about what was going to happen in this fight. Yeah. But it was more like we just didn't know much of this Ferreira. Like, we knew he was upcoming and stuff. And like
big underdog, wasn't he?
He'd been talked about.
Yeah. Ferreira was the favourite.
Ferreira ended up being the favourite. Yeah. Because like obviously you think that because you don't know him and we didn't know him. But I ended up looking and Pettis was.
He's quite
like a big underdog. Pettis wasn't.
So I had no idea. Yeah. I mean, I know some of Ferreira's history, but I still thought Pettis would be the...
Yeah, so we all thought that. That's why I was surprised, and I thought Pettis would still win, but he got dominated.
Yeah.
He was just constant on him, and he's quite a small guy, that Ferreira, and he was just on his back a lot. And
I think it's a good fight. Pettis had a guaranteed £155,000 dollars coming out of the fight. He was guaranteed that anyway. And Ferreira got 50,000 for the fight and 50,000 for the win, so he's made 100 grand as well. Good night for both of them.
And 17-2 record now for Ferreira. That's a very good record.
Well, I think
he hasn't fought anyone really till Pettis.
Yeah, we said that. Well, he fought Poirier.
He fought Poirier.
That was his last loss. So
he lost.
Poirier in 2015. He got absolutely battered by him in the first round.
Well, that's what we were saying on the first one. It was like,
but obviously he must be stronger now.
Yeah, he looked awful in that fight. I watched it last night. He looked dreadful against Poirier.
But he did look good against Pettis.
He looked
6-fight win streak. I think that is for him now.
Yeah, I think it is.
He just clung to him, didn't he, in that whole fight?
I don't think Pettis has ever lost via submission, either.
No, I don't know about that one.
So it was quite a big night for him. The only problem with Ferreira now is that he's just choked out an ex-champion via a rear naked choke, a good one. He had a good fight.
Second round,
He's got, like, his standing holding him up, his ranking. And he's saying after the fight he doesn't know what's next, but it's exciting, this, that and the other. And then he comes out and says that he doesn't want to fight a ranked opponent next. That is just not a day in a fighter, is it?
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that. He doesn't
want
to fight.
He's ranked now, he's 11th.
He doesn't want to fight someone that's ranked. It's bizarre to me. You've just beat Pettis. And you've had a really good fight against... He's like the most un-Dana White fighter ever. Dana White's going to get dead pissed off with him.
He did look good though. Like, I want him to fight someone, I don't know who, but he looks fun. Like, well, obviously not fun, far from fun with his style, but like, good rear naked choke against a good fighter in a Pettis in the second round. Looked good the whole fight. Pettis probably didn't look good.
He would look best against Alec Winter.
That'd be fun.
That's another name.
Very similar.
Raging.
Very similar fighters, and like, he's just above him in the rankings, really. And there's obviously all them at the top, like Gaethje, Poirier. He's not going to fight them yet, is he? Kevin Lee, Hooker and Felder are fighting. So there's got to be someone like...
Kevin Lee would be fun because Kevin Lee's a striker.
Kevin Lee's fighting Charles Oliveira in like a couple of weeks.
Oliveira.
Like, yeah.
Oh right, I didn't know that. When is?
No, I didn't notice that's the last night.
That's
it's on a fight night. It's a main.
Oh,
So
maybe-
there's obviously that. There's that card.
maybe
So,
one of them two
so
will
it's,
fight.
there's obviously that Gregor Gillespie who's still, you can't like just shut him out now. I know he got KO'd by Kevin Lee, but that was his.
Still a really good fighter.
Yeah, so you never know. It could be him and Ferreira maybe.
That'd be fun.
So
I
still
think
them
their
little
styles are
options.
fairly similar though, so it'd
Wonder
be
where
quite
Pettis will go.
a ground-based fight, I imagine. What do you think of that on
Pettis?
Pettis? He'll
Yeah.
keep going and fight someone.
It's unusual though, isn't it? Because I was looking at him. 2016, he's lost to Max Holloway, Edson Barboza, Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, Nate Diaz, and now this guy. And they're all huge
Yes.
fighters before this fella. And I'm not like taking anything away from Carlos Ferreira because he looked great, and I wasn't really aware of his history, but it seems like he's just kind of dropped off. Even though he's been fighting a lot of big boys, he's just dropped off the face of the earth now, hasn't he?
He doesn't have to be amazing because of his name already. The fact that he's just going to get... he's a feeder fighter from like Cerrone. He will be given, because people have heard of Pettis and Cerrone, give them names,
Yeah.
they'll fight. The reason I think they put this McGregor-Cerrone fight together is because they knew, give McGregor a win against a big name and it'll shoot him up again.
Same goes for
Give
Carlos
Ferreira a fight against Pettis. If he wins, it'll look really good because everyone's heard of Pettis and thinks, flipping heck, he beat Pettis.
He's an ex-champion.
And we forget that Cerrone loses fights often and Pettis loses fights often. They're still massive names. You put them up and you go, flipping
Yeah.
heck.
It just seems Pettis can't beat the big fighters. You
Pet-
can't win the big fights.
Well, we said this. Pettis is below the high standard, which is that division, a very good division. He's just below it, but because he's former champ, you give him someone that looks really good.
Yeah.
Ferreira now sounds like, oh, flipping heck. I'd like to see him do something big now, even though he's not really beating someone who's doing very well at the moment. So I think it'll be interesting to see where we go from here for him. But like you're saying, maybe a Kevin Lee versus, who is it? Oliveira win.
Charles Oliveira.
Whoever that wins at that fun fight, maybe fight someone who's. I don't know if he'll fight Raging Al just because I don't think it's an exciting fight for anyone. I don't think he's got an exciting fight coming up anytime soon. But
He's got the name though, hasn't he?
he does look
Like
good.
Windsor.
This Ferreira bloke. I think he looks very impressive. So, and he's doing well at the moment since that Poirier loss. So yeah.
I just don't get his claims. He wants to fight a non-ranked fighter next, and
That's weird.
you want to propel
That's weird.
yourself. Call out the biggest you
And
can,
he's
really.
not young. I don't think he's young.
He's
is he?
not. He's like 35.
That's not old though.
No, he's not young either. You know, it's not like he can just spend the next 10 years like slowly working his way up to the top.
No, I think he probably wants a win, and then he'll, he's got quite a few under his belt, and then he'll be like, right, give me whoever. But he just doesn't seem like the type to be like, I deserve a fight against whoever, because he just doesn't seem like he's the sort of guy.
No, it's not that he deserves it. It's that he's 35. It's like he can't be saying he doesn't want a ranked fighter. Though. That's just
That is silly.
It's unusual, isn't it?
the Pettis is ranked. The Pettis is
He'll
one
get
of
a
the
ranked
best.
fighter. He'll get a ranked fighter.
Yeah.
There's
Oh
no
yeah,
doubt.
yeah. So that was UFC 246.
What do we all think of the actual card?
No, it was alright. It's nothing special. I think it's for what we've done. UFC 245, haven't we?
Yeah,
Um,
UFC 2456 and then UFC 246. Yeah, it was fun.
No,
I
but
think
yeah.
It was a bit anticlimactic.
it obviously wasn't going to be
It wasn't UFC
245
no.
because they always end the year with a massive show, and it obviously was a massive show. I think it was a good one. I think that McGregor fight obviously was always going to take the shine of it and make it look good, especially when McGregor wins like that. Everyone's like, way amazing, yeah, bring on the next McGregor fight. So like, it as we said, didn't matter who fought on that card because McGregor was fighting on the card. So like, it was always going to be a massive night, and so I think they'll be happy with what happened. I don't know like the numbers they had for stuff, but it was it was a pay-per-view. We paid for it, so they're definitely sorting themselves out with that one. I think it was a good one.
So it's always a winner for the casuals and the experienced sort of UFC fans, isn't it? When McGregor's on a card, they're going to make money regardless out of whoever they can.
Well, everyone makes money
British,
when McGregor
Irish.
fights, don't they?
Yeah, casual, not so. It was a big one.
before we finish on that, just want to talk about the lad on the prelims that you like, Johnny.
Sadiq Youssef.
Yeah. He had a good win, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm into
against
Sadiq
Andre
Youssef.
Feely. He looked good. It was better than, I'd say, most of the fights on the...
How long's he been around,
Right,
Sadiq Youssef?
He's
Did
not
you
been
say
around for
he
too
was
long,
in
you know.
the Contender Series?
He was, yeah.
it?
He has
I've seen his
the
fights
best
before.
Contender Series fight in history to his name, honestly. I can't remember who it was against, but it was such an insane fight. Brilliant.
I've definitely seen him before. I always know the name because I've from something. You're saying the Contender Series.
Was it?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was in that, yeah.
What's his record
Mike
now?
Davis, was it? Or did he win on decision in that fight?
I think it might have gone all the way, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's saying here, Dana White Contender Series, Mike Davis. So, that was a year ago.
He's amazing.
He looks really good. He looks very strong for a featherweight.
Yeah.
26.
Built, isn't he?
He's definitely one to watch, so people remember the name, I think.
Sadiq Youssef, it's a big one. I don't think it's quite like a... I hate talking about Edmund Shabazian and stuff like that. He's not quite there yet in terms of like the expression of experience for such a young fighter, because you could see like holes in his game. Not like I'm an analyst or anything, but like his physicality, the way he carries himself and goes in for things, he does look great.
But the lad he was fighting was similar to him, quite still young, good little battler. He's lost to big people like Andre Feely.
Yeah.
But he's still a good fighter, and it was a good win.
Yeah.
So
Super Sadiq's only 26. He's got a good future, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think he looks fun, looks exciting. He's definitely a very good fighter, so it'll be interesting to see where he is in a year or so.
Yeah, definitely.
I could see him flying.
There'll be people like...
What
so he's
division's
14th now, he's featherweight, so... There's obviously... he's way off, like, say, Holloway, all them, isn't he, and stuff like Volkanovski and... But there's obviously Calvin Qatar and stuff like them, isn't there? Like, Jeremy Stevens always happy for a fight, isn't he?
He'll take anything, won't
So,
he?
you never know. There's definitely... Could fight someone like that. So, yeah. That's UFC 246. Was alright one. It was alright. Well, I'm very happy with the McGregor win, so I'm glad he didn't lose that one.
Yeah, that was important for everyone.
He's not taking a hit in 2 years now.
So this weekend we're just briefly going to talk about the fight night. So it's not a proper UFC card, but it's a UFC fight night 166. The main fight will be Curtis Blaydes v Junior de Santos, which I think is going to be an absolute scrap.
Yeah.
Curtis Razor
gonna be
Blades.
I don't think that's his nickname.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's third versus
I
fourth.
thought it was something else. Something like, I don't know. I can't think what it was. So Curtis Blaydes, v Junior de Santos, third v fourth, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's brilliant, yeah.
It's really close.
Why was
you
this
can't
not
really
fight
tear
is-
them apart.
Yeah, you can't. That's the thing. You can't tear them apart. They both can't afford to lose.
No.
They've both been battered by Ngannou.
Yeah.
Which is the thing. Like, whoever loses this is done. I think. For
Really?
like title wise.
Yeah, in terms of like
In terms of title wise.
who Ngannou knocks out again next.
Yeah, because Ngannou's like knocked them both like first round. I think so. Like.
Yeah, but
Or one of them was points. Oh, I think.
I was looking
Blaydes
at the
lost him twice.
physicality.
Blaydes
It's
lost-
crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I-
you literally can't tear these two apart, though.
I
I
also
don't
don't-
know what's going to happen.
I also think, regardless of whatever happens, neither of these two are good enough.
I
kinda
agree.
Like,
I
I kind
agree.
of like Curtis Blaydes at times, but yeah,
They're
both
both
seem...
such hard hitters, aren't
Yeah.
they? But then it's Ngannou who's a
Yeah,
hard hitter.
they're just
and then
not
there's
the
Miocic
hardest
and Cormier.
hitters, and Miocic is better in
Yeah.
every respect, and
why
Cormier's
it's
finished,
just-
so we'll probably have to forget talking
Yeah.
about him. He's going to retire. I don't know why he hasn't.
Who's this?
Cormier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miocic is, although I've heard
I was
Miocic
thinking
is
who
in...
Ngannou's fighting. He's fighting that Rosenstruck, isn't he?
Rosenstruck, yeah, that'll be a brilliant
That will be a
fight.
brilliant fight. So if Rosenstruck wins that, then he's going to
Rosenstruck,
jump ahead of Blaydes.
definitely.
and Santos.
Rosenstruck's next, but I've heard bad things about Miocic with an injury, that he's having to have some serious operation on something that's wrong with him, so...
It's his spine, isn't it?
Hoping he really doesn't have to pull out of and vacate the title, because then you'll probably end up having... But Rosenstrike looks good.
He does look good.
Like, he looks like he's better than either of these two. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because he's not fought
No.
anyone really good.
Yeah, I can't say because these are both like legends, really, aren't they? Well, Santos.
Santos is a massive
Definitely
legend.
legend.
Blaydes only fight 30
Blaydes
times.
not probably a legend, no, but he's been there for a while.
Yeah, he's known about and he's dangerous, definitely.
But the Santos definitely, because he's won the heavyweight title before. And to be honest, if he does beat Blaydes, he most likely will get another shot, won't he? Like after say Ngannou wins, then fights Miocic, he's got to defend that, and it'll probably be DeSantos or something. Say that, for example. That would happen. Do you know what I mean? They probably, whoever does win this fight, probably will get another shot at the title.
Did Stipe and Ngannou fight?
Yeah.
I
think Ngannou lasted one round and
Yeah,
got out massively.
I remember.
Yeah,
When he was a bit
He
inexperienced.
That's when I thought, wow, this guy's just a hard hitter. But
Well, we all said that. We watched. I
He
think
changed his game massively.
yeah,
that
he's
was
changed.
like 2 years ago, wasn't
He's
it?
changed, so that could definitely. But
I still don't think. I still think.
I still don't think anyone's
That's a
on
whole-
Miocic. I think Miocic is in his own league
Yeah,
in this division.
that's what's
Obviously, Cormier would be in that, but if we're saying like he's not there anymore, and yeah,
we say if we're looking at these two fighters, on the main event, the Santos, more significant striker, who lands more punches from a minute, which could be important in this fight. He takes more punches as well, which is good. But if we look at, because they're both obviously very good on the stand up and punching each other, grappling. What's his name? Blaydes is very good at taking people down as well.
Yeah,
He's got a good
Blaydes
takedown.
gets a hold, yeah.
he hasn't got any submissions though, has he?
He's not.
No,
He's got
He doesn't have any submissions.
The
He's
ground
got
and
6.79 takedown average, which is really important for someone if you're fighting JDS, because you.
Yeah, I think they're both going to be good in that department though, and they're just so similar. Like, I just don't even know.
Yeah.
But JDS lost to Ngannou last fight, and that was the first round, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be brutal.
Like, it's not an exciting fight because I don't think either of them are. Like, they're good at lasting longer times, especially like. I think it'll be interesting to see what it is like. I don't know. It should be fun for like a fight, but I don't think either of these two excite me at all as in terms of being up there as, how these are third and fourth in the division. I don't think they are third and fourth in the division for actual being ability. They've obviously, JDS has been around for longer than a lot of people, and he's obviously...
There's not that many in the division.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, and it'll be interesting to see what it does. I mean, they're both 6'4", so it'll be just swinging hands and running out of energy in seconds, and I think it'll be a fun fight. But
I think, well,
should we make our predictions?
yeah, I was about to say my prediction is going to be a first round job. I'm going to go for Curtis Blaydes.
Ooh.
KO.
Really?
First round.
I'm
Yes.
gonna go.
5 rounder, is it?
It will be.
It will be. It's the main event, obviously, isn't it? And not.
I can't think what I want to say this fight's gonna be. I've thought about it. I've thought about it, and I just like it's like two mirrors fighting each other. Just one's younger, and one's more experienced. So I'm gonna second round win for JDS, for me. Johnny?
I've got absolutely no idea. It could be a decision. It could be a first rounder. It depends on how they approach it, really.
Go on, give us a guess.
Yeah, I've just gone it from him going all guns blazing. Do you know what I mean?
Blaydes.
First round, all guns blazing.
He's
and then
Blaydes first. I'm JDS second.
Oh, I'll say Junior Dos Santos might take it on decision and prolong it. I'll only say that though because you two have gone for something a little bit different, so mix it up.
Maybe it's just like, if it goes distance, I'd probably say it would be Blaydes, just because he's better on the top.
Yeah.
The Santos more experience though, so maybe.
Yeah, but that's only if they stand off each other.
Yeah. Anything can happen, and it's fair enough. Predictions here, I don't really know.
Could be a slow.
It's more like we are just kind of
gas.
guessing here because it is too hard to.
No, they might both
kind
think,
of predict.
I respect his punches too much, I'm going to stand away from him, which would be boring.
The polar opposite to like Colby and Usman with the takedowns.
Yeah, these two are both just sitting on each other, hoping no one punches each other in the face. Not what I signed up for, I don't think.
I think we got a bit of a similar with the co-main, and the only fight we're going to talk about, because there is only two really intriguing fights, isn't there?
There was three.
There was
They
three.
cancelled it.
They've cancelled it, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Is it Arnold Allen?
Yeah.
Have they cancelled that?
But he's fighting someone else, Nick Lentz, isn't he? He was fighting Josh Emmett.
Yeah,
he was the third fight on the main, but now he's been
Yeah.
moved to the prelims
Yeah.
because they've cancelled that. Which I don't think's really right, why they've moved him to the prelims, though.
It's
Why
like
have they
he's
moved
been
him?
demoted.
Because obviously he's fighting a worse fighter than Josh Emmett, but still, why is he being
He's not
demoted
being
when there's
punished.
not that good fights? So
Bit
there's
unusual,
obviously
that.
not that good these fights that we know
I
of
just don't
really on
think
these.
they are giving him that platform yet. I think they're giving Josh Emmett it. 'Cause
Yeah,
everyone knows who he is, but
they should.
Arnold Allen doesn't necessarily
He-
deserve
if-
to be there.
I think we'll talk about it in a minute anyway. Just before,
It's sort of like he's been stripped of a bit of exposure, really. But I suppose he's still got someone with. He's still against someone with a bit of experience, but it's just not the same, is it? Anyway, Dos
I know
Anjos
first,
and
so
Chiesa.
yeah, we'll talk about
Rafael
the
Dos Anjos.
co-main, Rafael Dos Anjos v Michael Chiesa. So
I'm excited.
I think with these two, very good fight again.
Yeah,
But I think they're both just behind the pecking orders, aren't they? Really?
Yeah.
Well,
so
it's a chance fight.
well, you went. RDA is obviously not who he was when he was the champion.
no, yeah, and
You know,
he's
he's another guy they seem to feed to everyone. But so's Chiesa. Like everyone knows both of these blokes
yeah.
a lot. Obviously both. You know, Chiesa's only lost 4 fights in his career.
he's on the up a little bit, Chiesa.
For a well-known fighter, the case is maybe one of the least I've watched
He's the
for like a while, because he doesn't fight, does he?
doesn't
Though
fight very often,
he doesn't
no.
fight. Like he hasn't fought since 2018.
I didn't know he was
He
6'1".
beat,
Oh, that's going to be massive. I remember Jake saying a while back, Diego Sanchez looked tiny in comparison to Chiesa, especially with the postures that they bring to a fight. Chiesa's 6'1", Dos Anjos is a 5'8" fighter.
5'8" versus 6'1".
Chiesa's got a 6-inch
Does
reach
it?
advantage and a 5-inch leg advantage.
Yeah, it does. But you have to think that if they're going to weigh the same, RDA is going to have to put some weight on.
Yeah,
He's going to be
stack
he's
out.
gonna, and he's a good hit. Like we know how accurate and good he is with his punching power. So I think it'll be interesting. Also, both of them good at landing strikes, grappling. Do you think Chiesa's got it over him?
yeah,
Probably.
just like that Sanchez fight, like we said, he was just on him all the time, wasn't
Yeah,
he? Like
bugging him.
constantly, so much bigger. The height was just such a big factor, and I think it's going to be the same again in this fight. But obviously, I think Dos Anjos is better than Sanchez, but
I think it's the same sort of concept approach.
yeah,
in this
I think
fight.
it's just.
I think the UFC know that.
I think this is
Chiesa knows
definitely
it.
Chiesa's probably biggest fight of his career in ways, because it's a stepping stone now to get there, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
he's been there before, he's fought big names and stuff, but
He's definitely.
this is the one for him to be like there, isn't it? And actually have a chance if he wins this fight. But
It should be interesting.
yeah, for me, I think it's a Chiesa decision, and I'll go for a unanimous
Unanimous.
decision.
That's too boring. Let's go with something like
That's too boring. Alright, I'll just lie then.
Chiesa's.
Makes it up.
It's gonna be a Chiesa second
18th round.
Second
Chiesa's
round.
second round.
Yeah, why not? I don't know, and these two are kind of fun. So, is he unranked, Chiesa?
I think it will be fun, and I think it'll be a bit of a mix. I think it'll give us a bit of spice and a bit of...
He's
Bit
unranked,
of ball.
Chiesa. He mustn't. When was the last time he fought? Yeah, he's unranked.
Is Dos Anjos
Yeah, he fought
ranked
Sanchez
fifth?
only last year, that's it. He only fought Sanchez.
Yeah, he's-
He'd obviously lost to Pettis in 2018.
Yeah, Pettis' resurgence didn't work out. I think Chiesa as well, to be honest, but I don't know how. I'd say like round 3. Maybe the first. Fuck it.
Is there anyone looking down at the card who looks like it might someone to watch out for? You think?
Well, I'd still
Well,
say the Arnold Allen
I'm
one's
saying the two
decent,
British
but-
lads, that's why I've got them there. So there's Arnold Allen, obviously. He's on the prelims.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at like
He's not lost in 5 years, Arnold
No,
Allen.
he's got a 15-1 record.
6
British
fight
lad.
win streak.
I remember watching him, I think it was Gilbert Melendez
Yeah.
when he last fought. That won by decision. He's
Yeah,
good.
he went
He's a good
the
fighter. He's
distance
got a
with
bit of
him.
everything about him.
He loves that fight as well, the Gilbert Melendez fight. He
Yeah.
carries it around. He's like, yeah, I'm a legend killer. I
Yeah.
want him to retire after I beat him.
That was his only person he's fought, really. That was
Yeah,
it.
but you know,
And then Josh Emmett was the next, and it was a big step. And if he'd won that,
Yeah.
that would be a big win because Josh Emmett knocks people out.
it would have been a rough fight.
He
that one.
knocks people out, so it's a bit. It's gutting for him. He's got this low, but lower fight, but he's got to win it. You still got to win it. If he loses this fight, then it's going to look so much worse than he would to him losing to Josh Emmett.
Yeah.
Nick Lentz still got experience. I wouldn't completely cut him out, but at the end of the day,
Oh no,
you know, Arnold Allen, he said it himself. He might look like a 12-year-old, but he packs a punch. He's got a
he
good
needs
left
to
hand
win.
on him.
Yeah,
Yeah. Does he still have that moustache?
He's got his little sort of stubbly beard.
I'm not sure if he still has
Yeah,
that.
he had that moustache that was disgraceful. I
He's only
remember.
26, 15-1 record. Good record.
Yeah.
Yeah,
26,
he
still
does-
young.
yeah.
I
Nick
hope
Lentz,
he
bit
becomes
shaky.
good.
He does look good, and it's nice having, as we say, the
British lad.
British lads.
Another one because it's obviously we got McGregor and Till, but then there's no one else really, is there? At the
We've got like
minute.
Leon Edwards and
Oh,
stuff.
Leon Edwards.
but-
Oh, I always forget to mention Leon Edwards. Obviously, Leon Edwards bigger than Till in ways at the minute, isn't he? With
Yeah.
him having the Woodley fight.
You love to see like a British lad come up and do things in the
Yeah.
US, though.
So I'd
the
like
UFC
Arnold,
love
Allen,
it as
especially in no division where they are. We do have British.
well.
There
Is
is-
it?
There's
Featherweight,
there's
isn't
the I can't remember if either you just said the bloke who fights at light heavyweight.
Jimmy Manuel.
Jimmy Manuel.
Yeah, but he's
Sort
of fit.
he's
It's nice to see him though because he's such a good bloke.
yeah, he's
Great
been
fight.
good to watch, of course, but he's going downhill now. Unfortunately.
It's also
so-
that Brett Johns is fighting on this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention at the end.
Fighting
Brett
on
Johns,
Fighting on the
Welsh
card.
lad.
Yeah.
He likes to fight. He does because he goes all the way. The amount of times he's gone the whole way is a lot. So, but he's 17-2, 15-2, I think.
Good record.
And
He's a fun fighter. Yeah.
but I think he won his last, but he lost the two before, which was to like the only two people he'd fought. Maniz, you know, the one who beat
yeah.
Garbrandt, and
Pedro.
Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain. But
See,
they're
their
two
names,
good fighters,
yeah.
and their names, and they're still upcoming. So I don't surprise it because I can't ever see this Brett Johns becoming something. But he battles, and he is a good fighter.
Is he a bit of a Kyle Bochniak?
Yeah,
Throws
yeah,
himself into a fight.
yeah. He is.
You
he
love
is.
to watch it. I love
He's
Kyle
fun.
Yeah.
He's
Bochniak.
fun watch.
He's a good to watch, and you never know. Obviously, he could become something.
He's
But
fighting Tony Gravely.
yeah, looking at him, I think he's just come off the latest Contender Series. I think of Dana White. I don't watch that myself, but
What is he 0-0?
no. He's like 19-5, I think.
Oh, okay.
So
Kind of interesting, I guess. There's also one. What I can't remember who's fighting. The third fight was interesting me when I was looking at on this card. A couple of decent names. I think they were 11th.
Espinoza, isn't it?
Yeah, they're 11th and 12th in the division. So you know that'll be a bit of fun. And there's that Stosic fighting, I think 5th, who looks like an absolute unit.
Yeah, so there is obviously interesting fights.
There's
isn't there?
a few interesting people. Have you ever looked at that Stosic fella?
No.
Absolutely massive. It looks
So what's that, heavyweight, is it, I'm guessing?
I think so. Where is he?
Oh, light heavyweight, for Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
So he's unbeaten, 6-0, so that could be an interesting one, of course.
He's a big bloke and he looks quite
You say that Espinoza, Perez, but flyweight division, which is a bit dead.
I know they
isn't
don't
it?
really hit out, but
Yeah, to be honest, I like the fights. Two nice fights on the main card. For a fight night, it's a good one.
yeah, it's a good one.
And the prelims, I'd definitely like to see Arnold Allen
Yeah,
and
it's
Brett
just-
Johns.
If that Allen
Hopefully get them.
If that Allen fight had been on it, it would have been like a really, really amazing card, but it wasn't to be. But still, it doesn't necessarily take that much away from the card. Like the two main and co-main are good, and the other fighters on the card look fun. So should be nice to see where that that card goes, to be honest, because I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I like watching the underdogs as well sometimes, the prelims and things like that.
Yeah.
You see a little bit more heart in it every now and then.
It's nice to stick on casually as you prepare for
We can record it this weekend. There's
stuff.
Herbert Burns is at the bottom.
It's
I think
on
he was
normal
picked up by
TV.
Dana White.
not box
Looking
office.
for a fight. Yeah, it'd be a good one. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to
so
it.
that's it. And most of the talk on UFC 246. A little bit of talk on the fight night.
Yeah.
Next one is UFC 247. So we don't have anything till February the 9th. That is scheduled for, well,
To be fair,
February,
that's not
February
actually that
8th,
long.
but February 8th, but it'll be the 9th because it'll be 3 a.m. You know what I mean? So
Right,
February
yeah.
8th UK,
It's not that long.
but it'll be in the Toyota Centre in USA. But yeah, it's 2 weeks, isn't it? It's not next, so there's nothing next weekend.
Yeah.
And obviously the following weekend it'll be UFC 247, and we'll preview that
Yeah,
in our podcast, and we'll obviously talk a little bit about the fights we watched this weekend, just so people know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be good. I'm quite looking
So
forward
UFC
to it.
247 is John Jones Reyes
Exactly, so that'll be a fun
headlining,
one.
which is a good fight.
I'll be interested to see that one, but I'm really interested to see what happens this weekend too, because they look like some fun fights and some good people to look out for. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, that's it really. So it's been a good one.
See you later.
Bye.